Every single year, millions of wild birds find themselves grounded. An injury happens in just a split second, and boom, their freedom is just gone. So today, we're going to follow their incredible journey, from the moment they're rescued all the way to release. We'll get a look at the dedicated and, honestly, often unseen work that gives them a real second chance at the sky.
I mean, for a creature that's literally born to fly, being stuck on the ground, well, it's a total catastrophe, right? And this question, it's not just some abstract idea. No way. It's the beginning of a life or death crisis that thousands of birds face every single day, sometimes right in our own neighborhoods.
You see, for a wild bird, life is this constant, beautiful dance between flight and survival. But as our world gets bigger and bigger, we're creating this landscape of invisible dangers that can bring that whole dance to a sudden, really painful stop.
Think about it. Our cities and towns are basically a minefield for them. You've got invisible window panes, busy roads, and on top of all that, there are natural predators, of course, but also our own human litter and even diseases like avian flu. It's just this constant barrage of threats, any one of which can ground a bird and leave it totally helpless.
So the second an injured bird is found, it's a race against time. And you have to imagine, for the bird, being taken to a rehab center, it's a terrifying new world. All these strange sounds, these giant figures looming over them. But it's also their one and only hope.
In this first checkup, it's absolutely critical. I mean, the specialists are meticulously checking for everything. We're talking fractures, open wounds, any sign of infection, dehydration, malnutrition, you name it. This initial diagnosis, it basically creates the roadmap for the entire recovery process.
But here's the thing. Rehabilitation is about so much more than just fixing a broken bone. It's this incredibly delicate, patient process of healing, not just the physical stuff, but the deep psychological wounds that come from trauma and being in captivity.
And what's really fascinating is how these 4 stages are just completely intertwined. You can't just, fix a broken wing and call it a day. Think about it. A bird with a fracture is in pain, it's stressed out, and that can make it not want to eat. So the medical treatment has to go hand in hand with specialized food and a calm, quiet place to recover. They're all pieces of the same puzzle.
And this right here, it's a perfect example of the kind of expertise we're talking about. The way you care for a common pigeon, which can get super stressed in captivity, is worlds apart from how you treat a hawk. For that hawk, the caregivers have to keep human contact to an absolute minimum. They even have to find ways to trigger its hunting instincts so it doesn't forget how to survive in the wild.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge. To the bird, the very people trying to save its life look like giant predators. So every single interaction takes just immense patience. The caregivers have to slowly, carefully work past the bird's natural fear just to be able to give it life-saving food, comfort, and medicine.
All right, so once the body starts to mend, that's when we get to the most hopeful part of the entire journey, learning how to fly again. And this is way more than just physical therapy. It's really about the process of becoming a wild bird all over again.
So inside these big, safe enclosures, the bird starts that long process of rebuilding muscle that's wasted away. And those first few attempts to fly, they might look clumsy, maybe even a little awkward and short. But believe me, they're monumental steps on that path back to freedom.
But then, day by day, you see the confidence and the power start to come back. Those clumsy flaps, they turn into powerful strokes. Little hops become real sustained flights across the enclosure. You can literally see that wild spirit returning with every single beat of its wings.
And this training is absolutely essential. I can't stress that enough, because surviving in the wild isn't just about being able to fly. In these huge aviaries, the birds have to prove they can still do it all, find their own food, spot predators, and even compete with other birds. All those crucial skills that being in captivity might have made them a little rusty on.
So after weeks, sometimes even months, of all this intensive, dedicated care, the final moment of truth arrives. This is it. It's the moment everyone has been working so hard for. Now, we have to be realistic here. Part of this journey is facing a really heartbreaking reality. Even with the best care in the world and just boundless dedication from the staff, some injuries are just too severe. The goal is always release, but for some birds, the kindest thing you can do is offer a peaceful end to their suffering. But for the ones that do make it, wow, that single moment of release is just this profound victory. I mean, to watch a bird that was once broken and totally helpless take flight and just disappear back into the sky right where it belongs,
That's an absolutely indescribable reward. Not just for the bird, but for the humans who cared for it.
So this whole journey, it really highlights a vital connection, doesn't it? It shows us the direct, real-world impact our world has on theirs. And it's a powerful reminder that, yeah, we have a role to play in their survival.
And this is where the story really comes full circle, back to us. The main takeaway here is that little, everyday things we do can make a massive difference. You know, properly getting rid of your trash, being mindful of wildlife habitats, and even just knowing who to call if you find an injured animal. These simple things can prevent countless tragedies from ever happening in the first place.
So let me leave you with this thought. What if your next simple action could change a bird's entire world? That one compassionate choice, making a quick phone call instead of just walking by, that could be the one thing that keeps a wild bird flying free and makes sure its story doesn't end on the ground.